I remember the arguments we had about, believe it or not, and many people were, and this is absolutely true, there was a big debate about whether people would know what a hashtag was when we launched Giving Tuesday. I remember people saying people are going to think it's something to do with telephones, because back then the only time you would see a hashtag was on a payphone. And of course, we stuck with the hashtag, which was, and I think they've dropped it now, but in the early years, we were quite insistent on the hashtag because the hashtag was saying something. It was saying this is not business as usual. There's something new about this. And so I think there was something about it was a shareable idea in its DNA. It came around at the right time, Giving Tuesday, and I think timing is really important. It was a good idea at the right time, and it was the world was kind of ready for a Giving Tuesday-like idea to catch on. I think that was helpful. And the people who wanted to be involved at the beginning were the people who just kind of stepped up and said they wanted to do it. And I thought that was what was so good about Giving Tuesday in the beginning is it really didn't have much status. What I mean by that is, we invited a bunch of people who were friends or friends of friends to be part of the team who were driving Giving Tuesday. And that would be everybody from, there were people who were like interns at social media companies through to Troy Carter, my friend who was at that point Lady Gaga's manager, through to Kathy Calvin, who runs the UN Foundation. So it was this kind of weird kind of posse of different people who all just liked the idea, and they all worked together. So there was something slightly counterculture about Giving Tuesday at the beginning, and I think that actually really helped because it was doing something different.
So what kind of impact do you think Giving Tuesday's already achieved, and how do you kind of think about measuring that? Particularly in a new power way, you want to see progress, right?
I think Giving Tuesday is one of the great tributes to the team is how seriously they've taken data. So they really have done an amazing job of building this data commons, which is now, I think, the biggest repository of philanthropic data in the world. So it's a network, essentially a distributed network of data, which helps the sector learn. And again, the same problem was happening with data that was with giving, which is it wasn't decentralized. It was very much, held by a small number of organizations. So I think Giving Tuesday's done a lot with data. I think it's done a lot with helping the nonprofit sector move into the digital world. So a lot of organizations will have tried their first social media campaign as Giving Tuesday as a kind of accelerant. Hard to measure that, but I know it happens because I hear about it all the time. I think that's super meaningful. And I think most of all, Jeff, look, you can measure the numbers, you measure the volunteer hours, and those numbers are important because they show it's working and because you need them for the media. But the more important idea in my mind is actually about rituals. And basically, functioning societies are made up of great institutions and great rituals. Those are the things that you need. And both of those have been challenged in our world. We've seen institutions crumbling and we've seen rituals collapsing. So it's really important that we have moments where we recognize commonality, because the great danger of our age in many senses is it rewards individualism, and it doesn't reward commonality. It doesn't reward things that make us the same. It rewards things that make us different, which is why there's so much vitriol, which is why everyone has been convinced that they're enormously important as an individual, because we're surrounded by these algorithms that reaffirm us all day long, every day, to tell us we're important, our views matter, our content is important, all of those good things. So once in a while, I think it's good that we all recognize there's something larger than all of us. And so Giving Tuesday was great from that perspective because it's global. Everyone from the left to the right has something they can give and connect with. Everyone from the richest man in the world through to some of the people who have received support and become donors themselves. There is a space for everyone in Giving Tuesday, which has this moment of kind of genuine, general generosity. There's 3 G's in a row, but that's what it is. It's genuine, general generosity. Everyone everywhere is recognizing we can all do something which shows that we care for each other. And I know the empiricists will start rolling their eyes at that kind of fluffiness, but I think it's really important that we do things that are heartfelt. And Giving Tuesday has some things which, of course, could change, could improve, but in its soul, it's trying to do something good. And I think that's why it's done so well.
And a lot of people want to come together and raise their hand to be part of that movement. And you all have created, a true global day, which is awesome.
It's cool. I remember seeing it in calendars. I remember, people would have printed calendars, and I would see these printed calendars, and they would say on them Giving Tuesday. And I always thought, wow, of all the things you get to do during a lifetime, putting a day on the calendar is pretty cool.